Okay, so welcome to webinar number 3. Today we're going to talk about wellness, and in particular we're going to talk about nutrition, and our focus is going to be around the lean diet or the nourished fat loss diet. So as all of you probably know by now, my philosophy around nutrition has been on making small changes gradually over time to make a bigger impact. I've always focused on the theory of eating whole natural foods, going back to eating what our ancestors ate, eating real food. And if you can hunt it, pick it, grow it, or fish it, you can eat it. And if you're looking at labels to see what's in food, then it's not really food because there's no labels on a head of broccoli. There's no nutritional value on spinach or anything like that because it's real food. With this, the lean diet, sometimes fast action is required. This is tough. This is slightly a bit more of an extreme process, but it is a brutally effective process nonetheless. This whole process or this diet requires us to reduce our calorie intake. So a real simple way for me to explain this is if you were to think of the body as a two-stage storage system, like a fridge and a freezer on the left-hand side of the screen there. When the fridge is full, we rarely ever look to see what's in the freezer. And think of the freezer as being stored fat. The freezer food is there for a rainy day. In the body, the fridge is carbohydrate, okay, glucose, glycogen stores. When they're high, the body doesn't need or ever want to go to the freezer. The freezer is your fat store. Obesity or excessive fat is when we keep loading more and more food from the fridge into the freezer and it moves in the wrong direction at a slower rate. So in essence, we're all carrying a freezer, and what we want to do is we want to tap into the stores in the freezer, and that is essentially burning body fat. To optimally and reliably lose fat, we need to let the fridge go empty. Initially, this will be hard because you're not used to going all the way back. And that is quite difficult for a lot of people to do. For an awful lot of people to do, reducing calorie intake is it's an alien thing. It's something that we always try to avoid because we've been sold really this concept that we should be eating 4 to 5 small meals every day and that we should be constantly grazing as opposed to having bigger meals. And I suppose when you look at it, if you want to fatten a cow or if you want to fatten a farm animal, then you ask them to graze all day. But I don't think that is the best formula for humans, and definitely it's that formula that has society the way it is. Okay, so soon letting the fridge go empty will become the norm, and the freezers are rapidly being unloaded. So that's a really simple way for me to explain about this calorie deficit. So what do you need? So when we start this, first of all, we want to take a baseline measurement. So weight, photo, waist and hip measurements, body fat, whatever way you want to do it. I think that photo is possibly one of the best ways to go. Body fat is also quite good. Measurements are also quite good. They give you a really good indication and a way of actually progressing how far we've gone or how well we're looking or the gains we've made. So second thing we want to do is we want to set an initial target of weight loss. So set that in kilos because it's just easier to calculate yourself. Another really important thing here is to download a Cronometer app. You can see it here on the slide. So Cronometer will allow you to actually input whatever you're eating, and it'll break down your calories and your macros and all those. And you may want to purchase Great Lakes Collagen unless you're going to go down the lines of making bone broths yourself. So these are what we need to get it going. So how does it work? The diet is actually really simple, all right? And I'm going to say this from the start. The goal here is nutrient density. So by eating as many of your calories as possible from natural, nutrient-dense foods, you're doing more than just losing weight. You're building health. We're doing this the healthy way. You're also building self-discipline and you're gaining momentum. Eating the same healthy foods every day also taps into the power of habit. Any behavior that you repeat daily becomes habitual and eventually effortless. And we can use the two girls and Tom. So take Rachel, Michelle, and Tom Sullivan just as a little case study on this. What they've all come back with, what they've all said, and the feedback has all been pointed towards this getting easier and easier and easier as the days get past, because it just becomes habitual. Okay, so the details. You want to set an initial weight loss goal. So if you're 90 kilo male, just say 1 kg. So that's your initial goal, okay? You follow the diet for at least 6 days. So even if you meet your target within 2 days, stick with the diet for at least 6 days, okay? If the target has been hit, you can have a higher calorie day with or without carbohydrates, right? But for the first 6 days, you don't do that, right? At least the first 6 days, all I want you to do is stick to the diet. Then after 6 days, if you have hit your target, then you have a maintenance day. So in terms of how many calories, 1,500 calories a day for men, 1,200 calories a day for women. So what does that break down into? The most logical way of doing it is 2 meals a day. So for men, 2 750 cal meals. For ladies, 2 600 cal meals. You want to eat gelatin plus broth and collagen, greens, fat, servings, small servings of meat and berries. That's really important, that nutrient density, as I've already explained, is at the top of our priorities. We want to not just lose fat, we also want to build health. Use a multivitamin and correct any other nutrient deficiencies. So with this one, let's look at using female or male multiple by Solgar. That's a really good multivitamin to use. So eat maintenance calories every time your mini target has been reached. So for the first 6 days, you stick with the diet. Okay, after the 6 days, if you've hit your target, your first mini target, go on a maintenance day. All right. If you reset your target again, let's just say 1 kilo, and you lose that again, you go back after your maintenance day and you go on your lean days. The second you hit that, you go on a maintenance day. So every time you hit your mini target, you go on a maintenance day. The last thing to this is, please try to increase habitual movement. So like yoga, walking, rebounding, any kind of exercise, try and move more. It's going to help with not just burning calories, but also detoxification. So what's a maintenance day? So you don't go too high on maintenance days. And from the outset, you want to focus on keeping the nutrient density and the nutrient quality really high on maintenance days. It is not a free pass to eat poor food. That's not what it's about. It's about eating more of the same type of food, okay? More of the same type of food. So 2,500 to 3,500 calories for most men, 2,200 to 3,200 for most women. So you want to focus on moderate carbohydrate intake with high nutrient density to hit your maintenance calories. So the goal here is to keep your carbohydrate intake on moderate levels, okay? So here are some bonuses to enhance the experiences, but these are just bonuses. This will work whether you do these or not. So number one, again, we tap into the power of accountability. This, like, look at Michelle and Rachel, for instance, on this one. They've done it together. They took the challenge as a friend. They had the support network of each other, and it played a big role in their success. So take the challenge together with a friend, a family member, whatever it is. 2, use mostly organ meats and fish as your meat sources. So I've spoken about this lots of times before. Organ meat is highly nutritious, and you want to focus on good quality offal, so liver, kidney, and so forth. Or fish, when we're talking about fish, we want to focus on smaller fish because of the aquatic food chain. Big fish eat small fish, and we know that because of industrialization, our rivers or seas are highly polluted. So we want to choose smaller fish, mackerel, sardines, and so forth. Take apple cider vinegar before meals, especially if you have digestion issues. Stop eating after sunset. Eat within an 8-hour window each day. So essentially, do intermittent fasting with this. So with intermittent fasting, you eat for 8 hours and you fast for 16 hours. It's just a faster way for you to unlock that freezer. Use detoxification methods daily. Okay, so we're talking about rebounding, infrared sauna, Wim Hof method breathing, oil pulling, tongue scraping, moving, meditation, all will play a part in this. Stay low carb for the first 2 weeks, even on your maintenance calorie days. So the goal here is to keep it low carb. Consume 4 tablespoons plus of gelatin each day. It's really important. I normally just put it into my coffee first thing in the morning. You can also go with bone broths, which are really nutritious if you want to go down that line as well. So here's a quick little shopping list. So Great Lakes Collagen, you get it on iHerb. Kerrygold real fat butter, full fat butter, coconut oil, apple cider vinegar, eggs, organ meats, fish, dark green veg like broccoli, kale, spinach, and more dark green veg. You can never have enough of it. Avocado. You can see to the left where I have some different foods. What we want to do is we want to try to focus on green vegetables when at all possible. We want to focus on broths when at all possible. We want to focus on organ meat, fish. If that is too extreme for you, you can go with more red meats. You can go with more lamb. You can go with more pork if you wish. But organ meats and fish are certainly the best options. So it's like, I'm not quite sure where the girls are with their weight loss. I know that Tom had nearly a stone down in a very short space of time. And I think that begs the question is, where do we go post-diet? Okay. So when you hit your goal, replace 2 low-calorie days with a maintenance day. All right. Gradually move towards only 1 low-calorie day a week. Keeping 1 day per week low-calorie will help your body to lose stored fat effectively and help keep your mind in the game if you decide to go back into this nourished fat loss again. So what we don't want to do is completely fall off the wagon where this is really difficult to get back into again. Use 1 to 2 more lean days when needed to drop more weight, and focus on moderate carbohydrate intake with high nutrient density to hit your maintenance calories. What I do is on training days, I might hit a maintenance calorie day. That's the way I have done it. And on days where I'm not training, I'm definitely looking for lean days. This is, again, like as I said at the outset, our big focus here is on nutrient-dense foods because we want to build health. This is losing fat a very, very, very healthy way, all right? When we do this, there's going to be a big element of detoxification because as you clean out the fridge, there's a lot of cleaning out to do, okay? Because we all have a higher toxic burden, all right? So having nutrient-dense food is going to really help us with that, okay? Deficiencies, because again that we're going on, there's a good element of fasting and calorie restriction. We don't want to become nutrient deficient. That's where I feel 99% of nutrition programs fall down on these 3 points here. They fall down because we don't look at rebuilding the body back up, and we don't look at becoming nutrient deficient. So if it fits your macros, in my opinion, is flawed because of this alone, all right? So nutrient deficiencies in modern society are also very common, and we want to undo them. So make sure that we're staying high in vitamin D, we're staying high in magnesium, selenium, and so forth. And then we want to rebuild. One of the primary benefits of fasting is to rebuild, which happens when the fast is over. Your body makes use of the great quality foods that are coming in to rebuild the immune system, add to the organs and all the cells in the body. Remember, we want to be circulating the most cleanest, richest, mineral-dense blood we possibly can around our body. So who is this not for? This is not for everyone. So if you want to add weight and muscle, this is not for you, okay? People who have health signals, whose health guide doesn't recommend this, you don't do this. People who are already lean or underweight, it's not for you. Or if you are sick and if you need the energy to heal, you don't take this on. So we know that long term, you need more than 12 or 1500 calories a day for optimal health and performance. This is a fast and effective solution to help you get near optimal body fat levels very quickly. However, it's not for everyone. Some people may need to make slow shifts and will not have the discipline for this approach. When you do this, your training is going to suffer, so it's not something that you would do through a really important training phase or coming to championship if you're a GA player or anything like that. It is something that you do when you're going to put your hand up, take a hit in your training, because you want to actually get to optimal levels of body fat. If you do this, obviously when you come out the back end of it, your training will benefit massively. Remember, we know that body composition is a massive performance indicator. We know that if you're 80 kilos and if you're lean, then you're going to work an awful lot better through 100 meter repeat efforts than you will if you're 110 kilos. So that's it. Any questions, you can hit me up on this. It's a really effective tool. It's a really effective diet. Please, lads, hit us up on this and keep us posted on how it goes.